What's up YouTube fam, welcome back. In today's video we're doing a new year, new me, new glam makeup look. It is highly inspired by people who are rich thanks to social media. It's a very like Instagrammy soft glam look. The Kardashian Jenners do this one a lot. It's just like a smoky taupey eye with a liner and a little bit of a lash on the end of the eye. I'm also spilling all my goals for 2020, so if you're a person who enjoys hearing about that, it will be a little bit of a chatty video. If you're not already subscribed, please do, because also, if you follow a lot of smaller channels, just know that engagement to us is everything. So whether that's a like, a little heart emoji, or just that question that you've been dying to ask that person that you follow, but you're not one of those people who comment on YouTube videos, ask it now. All right, let's get into the video. I just did my brows. Clean them up a bit, trim them down a little bit. I have a video, a brow video, that's doing quite well. Link that up here if you want to go see that. So, as per usual process, we're gonna just prime our lids a little bit. When I want to do more like smoked out, matte kind of glam looks, I use bigger brushes, and I find that it's easier to go in with light layers with bigger fluffier brushes. So I would use like a big fluffy one like this. This is a Swedish brand, it's called Flare, and it's their already scraped off. I'm gonna add in what brush it is right here. I'm gonna go in to the you already know, to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, of course. And I'm going to use the color Warm Taupe. As you can see, I just hit pan, so I'm using that one quite a lot. And I'm just going to use quite a lot of that, but still tap it off. And then go in right in my crease, or like where your eye folds. And a little bit on top, if you, especially if you have hooded eyes, you want to go on top of that. What I've been seeing a lot when I've been looking through these looks is that the eyeshadow goes up quite high. There's not a lot of space left right here where it's kind of skin colored, but I'm gonna see how far up I take it, because as you see for my eye, I don't have a lot of space on my lid, but I do have a lot of space from that crease going up to the brow. So if I covered it all with dark color, I think I would look crazy, but I'm gonna try to bring it up a little bit higher than I usually do, because I think that really brings whatever it is to this look that makes it special. So I've been seeing quite a lot of people on YouTube talking about their goals for next year. I know that for some people, they find that very stressful, and some people love listening to other people's goals. I'm one of those who definitely love it. And I'm also one of those who really hasn't set goals for years before, because honestly, I'm not a person who is very strategic with anything that I do. Not like personally, at least. At work I can be. But I don't know how many of you watch the Upstate vlog. Me and my husband went upstate New York, and we stayed there for a couple of days just as a little vacation thing before Christmas. I'm also gonna cover my lid with it because I want it to be like one matte gray color. So for my personal goals, I do have a couple, and I thought I'd share them with you. My first goal out of all is to get a part-time or a full-time job. This year I haven't been working with my real job. For the ones who don't know, I am a project manager in marketing and advertising. I worked with big brands like H&M and Volvo, like Swedish brands back home in Sweden. And so when we came to the US, you know, things have been very slow with the working visa. So this year or 2020, I was focusing on my channels while waiting for my working permit. But now it's time to get at least a half-time job so I can do this the rest of the time. And I'm not really sure what I want to do, if I want to go back into project management or if I do want to go in more to like content strategy or social media strategy, or I have no idea, but I need to find something. That was my first goal. My second goal is to drive more. Once again, if you saw the upstate vlog, you know that I drove up there because we had rented a car and literally there was no traffic anywhere. So I had no anxiety when it comes to driving, but usually I do, and like really bad anxiety to the point that like if somebody tries to force me to drive a car, I'll be like, bye. I have as a goal to drive more in 2021 and really get comfortable with driving, because I think that the only way to do it is get comfortable with it. And since we are thinking about leasing or buying a car, I think that that is definitely possible. That's definitely a doable goal. My third goal is to visit my grandma more. She lives in Bosnia. For the ones who don't know, I'm from the Balkans, I'm Bosnian. And before we moved to the States, in December 2019, I actually visited her with my mom and my aunt, and I was there for a week just with the three of them, and it was like the best week of my life. Like it was just, for the ones of you who don't know, I grew up in Sweden, and we would visit Bosnia every summer. That would be like our vacation, yearly vacation. I would go there every summer, and then, you know, I grew up, I kind of didn't go for a couple of years. You know, you're kind of like busy just living your life in between the ages of like 18 to 25. You don't really think too much about like your extended family if they're not close to you, which, you know, Sweden and Bosnia is very close. And I kind of stopped visiting her, and then last December when I went, I was just like, I need to do this more. And so that is one of my goals. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the Cypress Umber color, the dark brown one, and I'm just slightly going to pick up a little bit of that brown because it's very, very opaque, with that kind of smaller brush to first off place it right in my crease, just because I want to give some depth to the look. But this is sort of our last step when it comes to the eyeshadow, kind of like in an outer V shape, and then once again going in with that blending brush and just blending it out. And you can just go in layers, build this up, intensify it how much you want. And then I think this is my last like personal goal, but it is to find a second passive income. And when I say passive, I mean, for example, YouTube AdSense. That is a passive income, because the moment I post a video and add ads to it, it kind of generates money itself. And I want to try to find another one of those. It could be affiliate links, it could be doing, I don't know, classes online, and then that content kind of just living on and generating money for me. So that is that. I already have, as I said, my YouTube AdSense, but I want to have a second one. I'm going to do some eyeliner now, and I'm not going to talk you through it because I have around, I don't know, 7 million tutorials. I'll link the whole playlist here. Yeah, that was sort of it for my like personal goals. And then we have a couple of ones like as a family, as a couple. The first one is eat healthier, and to be honest, I am, for the ones of you who've seen my Snacks by Nat series, you know I'm not a health freak whatsoever. But living in the US, you just, I don't know what it is. You just naturally eat a lot more junk food. Listen, I am a naturally thin person, even though I do have a butt and thighs, but I'm naturally quite thin. And I was always one of the people who were like, I can't gain weight, until I moved to the US, and that kind of burst my bubble. I just, you know, when I say eat healthier, I'm basically like not ordering every night. Just like try to cook more food, because I do love cooking and we used to cook a lot when we didn't live here. So just cook more, eat less out, try to eat like healthy snacks, and just not eat burgers and pizza every day. Then our next goal as a couple is to be more focused during working hours. I mean, my husband works a office job, so he kind of has to, but working from home, it kind of makes you a little bit more prone to like having a very floaty work schedule. You kind of just, you know, work a little bit as you want to. And but yes, he also does some of his own stuff like during weekends and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm all over with my freaking schedule. I work a lot on weekends and during nights. If I'm like late with something, I'm a super, I don't know, especially lately I've been really bad with my planning. And what we realized is it does take a lot of time from our like free time together. So one of our goals is to really get the stuff done during the day so that we can chill during nights and weekends. Oh wow, these liners are nowhere even close to looking like one another. They are very different. But you know what? Who cares? Because today is the day we're gonna do some falsies. My favorite lash of all time is the House of Lashes Iconic Lights. This is what they look like right now. Because I started liking more like pulled back makeup, and I just found that the lashes are way too big for my eyes. So what I did is I cut them and I just took the inner parts of both lashes, and then I took this inner part and I applied it here. I tried it for New Year's and it looked amazing. And I took this inner part and applied it at the outer corner of this eye, and it just looked chef's kiss. Like it looked, you could see it that they're fake, but they still look like as natural as fake lashes can look. So I'm gonna do that. I usually do, when I do a strip like this, I usually do the lash first and then I go in with some mascara under just on my lashes. Next goal kind of goes together with the previous one I just mentioned, you know, to try to be more cautious with our time, but it's also to kind of establish some habits and try to be more intentional with them and try to follow them. Like, you know, just daily habits, like just try to, you know, drink a glass of water in the morning, one at night, try to read a little bit, try to maybe do some yoga a couple times a week. Just easy habits that are good for you, that won't apply too much pressure or make you feel like you need to do a lot all the time. Then the next one is spend time and effort on important friendships. The two of us talked about this a lot when we were upstate, because it's just weird, because sometimes the friendships and just the relationships you have with people, they're not always intentional. Even though you don't get along with that much, or just because you've been old friends or whatever. I'm not saying I'm getting rid of my old friends, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, just spend more time and make more effort to spend time with people that you really enjoy hanging out with. It's one of them. And then the second one is try to make at least a couple of new friendships and spend time with the new people too. There we go. Actually, I have that other, where's that other? One of these tweezers. They're like $2 on Amazon or wherever. Get them. Our next goal is to be more active, and by that, it's really just like not active as in like work out several times a week, but just walk more. When we were in Sweden, we had our dog. We used to walk a lot, go on walks like during the weekends and things like that, and then we moved here and it all just went away. So just try to move a little bit more. That's it for the eyes now. Let's move on to some skin. They always have this very like satin, I wouldn't say it's matte, but it's kind of like a satin airbrushed look, and honestly I think most of it is how it looks like in photos and filters, so don't do your best to try to look like that. But I am going to try to just have more of like a skin like more satin finish to it, and so the best way for me to do that is just use my Cover FX Power Play foundation. It's one of my faves from last year. I don't remember if actually, yes, I maybe, did I? I think I might have said it's the one of the faves at least, and I'm gonna apply it with a damp beauty blender because I just find that it gives it the most natural looking result. So I'm just gonna Go all in, bitch. Next goal is to create a more energizing and inspiring home. I always prioritize traveling or like food and hanging out with people, and now it's just like try to spend a little bit more time trying to create a homey home. In 2020 we spent so much time at home, and it's kind of likely that we will do that this year too, and in the future more as well, because it feels like a lot of people would just generally work more from home, and so that is important to us. For concealer, I'm once again gonna go in with the Power Play one. It's the same as the foundation, kind of satin finish. I find it very easy to work with and I just like it. And I'm gonna mix G Light 2 and G Medium 1 because I'm kind of in between those colors. And what I do with concealer is I just pop some where the most of the darkness that I have, which is right in here, a little bit right here, just a tiny bit, and mostly out here. So boop, boop, boop. And then I'm also gonna do a little bit, why did I do that sound effect? I'm also gonna do a little bit of that medium one, just a tiny bit, because I'm more light right now, let's just be honest. Next goal is to, now this is of course if we can travel once again, we'll see how COVID will be next year, but we want to try to travel more in the Nordics. This is funny because we're both from Sweden, but I at least have never traveled around like Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, and it's beautiful. So I don't know why I haven't done that. It's just, you know, you want to travel to these like warm, exotic places in Europe or around the world, and now that I've grown up a little bit, I kind of realized the beauty of like just the Nordic environment. I am going to powder a little bit because right now I do look kind of satin, but oh my god, I am so pale right now. Cool. I'm gonna powder my forehead a little bit because that's the only like spot on my face that tends to get a little bit like just more dewy throughout the day, and I want to really keep it satin. So I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Powder in Banana. Looks like that. And I'm just gonna swirl it in here, tap it off, and then just lightly kind of press it into my forehead. I don't like to powder my under eyes because I am dry and I have my kind of wrinkles there. Not wrinkles, but you know what I mean, like what everyone has. And when I try to powder, it never looks good. I haven't succeeded at least. Somebody, if you know how to do it, let me know. Of course, we're going to bronze. I'm going to use the Sun-Kissed like bronzer duo by Cover FX, once again, faves. And I'm just gonna mix the sort of shimmery side and the matte side. And then the final goal is to, maybe I already said that one. Buy or lease a car. Did I already talk about that? Well, anyways, it's just because we want, like for the first time in our lives, to have a little bit of freedom. Like we've always lived in like a big city without a car, and now we just feel like we want to travel and discover places. And from what it looks like right now, 2021, I don't know if you'll be able to travel by flight, so car it is. Just applying this bronzer very sparingly because I am pale right now and I don't want it to look too unnatural with a lot of bronzer. Blush. Just, I want something neutral and nice, but on a little bit of the warmer side because that's what I like in blushes. But any warm tone blush that you have, this is a Swedish brand called Isadora. This is their blush in warm nude, but I bet you have something like this at home. If you don't, and if you're in Sweden, highly can recommend this. It's a very nice, just neutral. It's not neutral because it is warmer, but it isn't too warm. It's just a very nice everyday color. And you know, they like to place their blush a lot on the apple of the cheeks, and I used to do it that way too. Now I started placing it a bit more high up on my cheekbone, and I kind of like that look, but let's try to do it their way, okay? Faux lips. Usually at least Kylie has a little bit more like a warm tone nude, and I thought I'd do that because I'm trying to look like her, aren't I? And so I'm gonna use the Milani 09 Spice lip liner. As you can see, a very like warm toned nude, but I'm gonna use it a bit more sparingly, not like press it down too much and get too much of a dark lip. I want it to stay kind of nude. So do I like that? No, I don't. Am I redoing it? Yes, I am. This is the NYX Sandstorm one. That's what's left of it. So you know how much I love it. Okay. I might actually do like a glossy lip just because I'm kind of in the mood for that more. So this is the Beauty Act Lasting Beige Lip Gloss. Anything peachy that you have will do. I like to just pop it on the middle of my lip. Alright you guys, that was it for today's video. As usual, I hope you learned something new. And if you did, I at least hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't even enjoy it, I just hope that it was on in the background while you were doing something else. I don't even know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and